Hey, how's it going? Roby here, and welcome back to the channel. This morning I've got on wrist the OMEGA Seamaster 2531. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know that this is a watch from my personal collection, and that I've been wanting to make a video about it for quite some time. But time, as we know, has a way of slipping away on us. Here we are at the end of the summer, milking some of the last rays of the sun in September, and I thought that maybe I could just share some thoughts about the watch itself and maybe some strap combinations for it and why it is that I purchased this watch as my retirement watch. When I was shopping for my retirement watch, in fact, there were two things that I wanted. I wanted to commemorate everything that had come in the 27 years before that. I was an educator and I loved teaching, but I also wanted a watch that would accompany me on future adventures. So of course, I settled on the Seamaster, particularly because I love the water. And because I've been collecting for quite some time, I also knew that I wanted a watch with an aluminum bezel. Why? Well, because I wanted it to age like me. So it came down to two particular watches, the 2254 and the 2531. So let's talk about why I went with the Bond watch. As it is, unlike newer models, the 2254 and the 2531 both have chronometer-certified movements, but they're ETA-based and therefore are easily serviceable. And I like that. But if you've been following me for a while, you also know that I like a good story as much as I like a good watch. And the story behind the 2531, with its emblematic connection to the Bond franchise, may well have been what tipped the scale for me. It's a Bond watch that wasn't created for the movie, simply a production watch, selected by costume designer Lindy Hemming, who encountered former Navy men among her father's circle of friends and recalled that they all wore Omegas. Since GoldenEye, Omega has been the official watch of the James Bond franchise. In the 1995 film, Pierce Brosnan wore the OMEGA Seamaster 300M Quartz 2541, often referred to today as the Bond watch. However, in subsequent films, including Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day, Bond's traded in his quartz reference for the automatic 2531. And frankly, I just like blue. At 41 millimeters in diameter and 11.5 millimeters in height, the SMP 2531 is not a big watch, but it does feel heavy and substantial. Despite this weight, however, it is one of the most comfortable watches I've ever worn. While the curvaceous case and slender profile may account for some of this, it is really the bracelet and lug design which are responsible for the tight fit. While the 9-row stainless steel band has been a point of contention since the watch's inception in 1993, I actually find it quite nice. Its substance and lack of taper help act as a suitable counterweight and keep the watch balanced and well seated. The clasp is bulky and slightly convex, but it is also sturdy and athletic. It functions with a simple push-button release, and while it was designed before the age of widespread on-the-fly micro-adjust, it does have a diver's extension. What I love most about the design is the actual case shape. While some find the helium escape valve to be vestigial and awkward, I love the asymmetry. I also really like the scalped bezel, even though it does not make for an ideal dive instrument. The twisted lugs, which taper down to 20 millimeters, also provide a sense of aerodynamics to the overall silhouette. The wave dial texturing is perfect, and I actually think the stunted hour hand is a smart addition. It is reminiscent of mid-century French dive watches and can be more quickly differentiated from the minute hand when diving. The watch is powered by the Calibre 1120. Omega modified the ETA 2892 A2 movement to include 23 joules rather than 21. It has a 4 Hz beat rate and a 44-hour power reserve. The last full service on this watch, though I did have it pressure tested and the crystal replaced just recently, was in 2022. It currently runs about -1 second a day, well within COSC specs. Despite enjoying the OEM bracelet, I have tried out a number of different strap options over the last 2 months and settled on a few winners. The first are a couple of Nodus from Artem straps. Their nylon watch straps are unbeatable. The hardware is solid. Each band is equipped with 3 keepers, 2 are fixed, 1 floats. This allows you to adjust the strap comfortably. The buckle and keepers are both polished and signed. However, it's the material which is the real strength here. The Nodus are made from polyamide, a synthetic polymer with an increased crystallinity. This is much more durable than polyester. It is also resistant to UV rays, more elastic, and wicks quickly after a swim. While there are many colors in the Artem catalog, the summer blue or bond blue work best with the SMP. Their satin sheen and different hues of blue really suit. My second discovery is the Forstner President 1450, which has been designed specifically for the pre-2018 Seamaster 300M. If it's the OEM bracelet that has kept you out of a Seamaster until now, this is the solution. The brush links have a robust and substantial feel and are attached with screws for easy sizing. They are uniformly finished in a satin brushing with no sharp edges. The bracelet, modeled after the famous Speedmaster band, tapers from 20 millimeters at the lugs to 16 millimeters at the clasp, and I find that it completely changes the look of the watch as a result, leaving it more refined and elegant in appearance. It has been engineered with solid H-shaped end pieces and a push-button clasp with 6 increments of micro-adjust. There is also an added stretchy link, which expands naturally with the swell of your wrist to allow for greater comfort. Finally, the fitted strap. When the SMP 2531 was released, there was no OEM curved strap. However, today Omega makes one for the newer line, as do many third-party purveyors. Nonetheless, the new collection has a slightly different case size and lug pin placement, so there is no guarantee of a tight fit. I took a chance with WIS Straps and couldn't be happier with the result. The brand, Watch Innovation Straps, offers 7 different colors for the Seamaster. Marine blue is a no-brainer for the Bond watch, but Miami blue, Polar white, and Glacier blue are all solid options. Even tuxedo black works out nicely. The straps come with OEM spring bars for easy installation, and I was pleasantly surprised with the tolerances at the lugs and case edge. The rubber is supple and strong, the brushed hardware is robust, and there are 2 additional rubber keepers for a trim appearance. I could drive myself crazy swapping these out for a different look each day. The OMEGA Seamaster 300M 2531 wears just as well as any modern dive watch. Even after 26 years, the Lume is incredible. While it is most definitely a product of the 90s, it could pass for the latest release, so iconic and unchanged is the design. Upgrades to the bracelet abound. While purchasing a vintage timepiece often dictates a restriction in its usage, the SMP is still fit for active duty. Its easily serviceable movement and robust build quality mean that it will likely remain as such for years to come. It is a small bit of horological and cinematic history for your wrist.